Lessons from my sophomore year of college. I look back at myself a year ago and I realize that I don't even know who that person is. And I'd always been really afraid of that. I'd always thought that change was a bad thing and that I didn't want to change. I wanted to stay true to myself and I wanted to embrace who I really was. The thing is that I didn't really know myself. I was afraid of everything while believing that I was being cautious or wise by not trusting people and not letting people in and not going out and doing things and not seeing the world. I watched the world through the monitor of my computer and I listened to the world through my headphones. I thought to love the world was to sit back and passively see it from afar. I had friends through marching men, of course, but I was shy and cautious around anybody else. And I had an us and them mindset, where if you were in a sorority, if you participated in sports or things that I didn't participate in, that I clearly had nothing in common with you. But I've come to this weird conclusion that having my heart broken has freed me more than anything could ever. All I knew was that I was hurt and that I would do anything to have that pain go away. I was sick of hurting and I was sick of fearing and I was sick of the person that I was. I was sick of the person that I'd always thought that I was my whole life because I knew that that person wasn't truly me. But when it piled up enough, I sat back and I said enough. So I decided in one fell swoop to become fearless. Just like that. I flicked my fingers and I dyed my hair an absolutely hideous shade of orange just to prove that I could do that and still feel beautiful. I danced in public, I sang in public, I talked to whomever I could, and I smiled at strangers all the time. I met friends from all different walks of life who I never before thought that I would have anything in common with. I opened myself up day after day. I started going to church again, no longer believing that God hated me for me not talking to my father anymore. I started to open myself up, and I realized that I had never before in my life actually done that. It's funny when you're an extrovert, when you're the kind of person who talks a lot, when you're on stages your whole life, when you make video blogs, and when you open yourself up a lot to friends, and everybody assumes that you're the kind of person who's never lonely because you're always with someone and you're always talking, but you don't realize that that is not what it is to be vulnerable. To be vulnerable is to be able to ask for help, and to truly trust someone is to sit down and for you to say that I am not strong enough to do this alone and that I need somebody in my life. But I had never been that person. I was always the person who believed that I could get through this alone and who believed that I needed no one. And I had always been terrified of asking for help. And I honestly don't think that I've gotten to that point in my life yet. But I've realized that I need to get there. From my sophomore year, I learned not to fear, and I learned to work. And I learned that not fearing and working hard is enough to not feel afraid for your future. I had always been terrified of what I was going to do with my life. I hadn't had a career plan that I'm majoring in humanities, which is my passion, but it's not a major that exactly guarantees job safety. But I just learned to trust and to know that things will turn out for me. You know, a few weeks ago I had my iPod, my camera, and my wallet stolen from me, and it's funny how much I don't care. A year ago, maybe even 6 months ago, I would be so furious and I would be so upset because I don't have money to replace those objects. And now I've come to this realization that rage cannot be brought about by the loss of material possessions. I've been on so many dates this semester, and it's been fun for me to realize that you can go out and have a good time and just, take the night off. And that you don't have to actually settle down and you don't have to always be thinking about, oh, who is that person that I'm going to date? Future, marriage, happiness, all those things. Just take each day, one day at a time, and realize that you can take time to realize who you want and what you want. But more than anything, I'm thankful for the friends that I've met this year. It's astounding to me to think that I didn't even know these people a year ago. I can't believe what a change that they've made in my life, and I can't believe all the things that I've become and all the things that I've done this year. I just love my life so much right now, and I want to document these feelings forever and forever. And to you I say, be fearless. Dye your hair the hideous shade of orange. Just do it. Not literally, it was actually quite ugly.